There is a moment, a silent, devastating moment, when your life splits into two possible futures. And the terrifying part? You don't realize it's happening until long after the damage is done. It's the day you wake up and understand that your life isn't broken. You are. Not because you're weak, not because you failed, but because for years you've been slowly becoming a person your future can't depend on. People think destruction is loud, explosive, violent, but real destruction is quiet. It hides inside tiny decisions. It grows inside excuses. It thrives in comfort. And then one day, it becomes impossible to ignore. This is the day discipline stops being a good idea and becomes the only thing keeping your life from collapsing completely. The day your mind stops believing you. There is a unique kind of suffering that only undisciplined people experience, the suffering of self-betrayal. You don't fail because the world is unfair. You fail because your own promises mean nothing to you anymore. Every "I'll do it tomorrow" killed a part of your identity. Every "I'll start Monday" weakened your self-respect. Every "I'm trying" became a ritual of self-deception. And then one day, you feel the break. You realize you've become a person you cannot trust. From the outside, you look fine. Inside, everything is collapsing. Discipline would have prevented that collapse. Lack of discipline guaranteed it. The day comfort reveals its true face. People think comfort is harmless, but comfort is a hunter. It waits, it studies, it attacks slowly. It doesn't ruin your life instantly. It ruins your ability to build one. Comfort weakens your ambition. Comfort kills your urgency. Comfort dulls your courage. Comfort destroys your hunger. And worst of all, comfort convinces you that you have time. But time is not a resource. Time is a predator. And the day comfort stops protecting you, time devours everything you wasted. That's the day discipline saves your life. Because discipline is the only form of protection you actually control. 3. The day you see what you could have been. There is no pain deeper than the moment you see the version of yourself you could have become, and realize you'll never meet them if you keep living the way you do. That version of you, healthy, sharp, disciplined, confident, respected, unstoppable, is not a fantasy. It exists, but it lives on the other side of consistency. Most people never get close to that version, not because it's impossible, but because they abandon the path long before transformation begins. The day you realize this truth is the day discipline becomes sacred. Not because it makes you successful, but because it resurrects the life you killed with procrastination. 4. The day your consequences finally arrive. Consequences are patient. They don't strike early. They wait. You ignore your health until the doctor gives you a number you can't argue with. You ignore your finances until the debt becomes a prison. You ignore your relationships until they dissolve beyond repair. You ignore your dreams until you're too old to chase them. Consequences do not negotiate. They only collect. And on the day they do, discipline is the only weapon you have left. 5. The day you understand nobody is coming to save you. At some point, the fantasy collapses. the fantasy that help will arrive, that life will work out, that things will magically improve. That is the day adulthood truly begins. Rich minds rise on that day. Poor minds break. Because when the truth hits, when you finally understand that you are alone with the life you've built, your next step decides everything. Do you collapse or do you rebuild? Discipline is the only tool that works when nothing else does. 6. The day mediocrity becomes unbearable. Most people don't change because they want a better life. They change because they can no longer tolerate the life they have. There is a day when mediocrity suffocates you, when your wasted potential becomes a weight on your chest, when your excuses become nauseating, when your old habits feel like poison. That day is painful but necessary, because on that day, discipline becomes freedom, structure becomes oxygen, consistency becomes salvation. You don't rise because you're strong. You rise because staying the same is finally too painful. 7. The day discipline stops hurting. There comes a moment, after weeks, months, maybe years, when discipline stops feeling like self-punishment and starts feeling like self-respect. You finally understand that discipline was never the enemy. Comfort was. Discipline wasn't restricting you. It was rescuing you. It was rebuilding you. It was transforming your identity molecule by molecule. And then, without warning, something shifts. Your habits start to carry you. Your identity strengthens. Your mind becomes sharper. Your confidence becomes unshakable. Your future becomes predictable because you're designing it. This is the day poor minds never reach. They quit too early. They never stay long enough to feel the transformation. Rich minds, this is the day they live for. Discipline is not about waking up early, or working harder, or being productive. Discipline is the ability to take responsibility for the one life you will ever get. Without discipline, your life becomes something that happens to you. With discipline, your life becomes something you create. The truth is brutal. Your future is not shaped by your dreams. It is shaped by your habits. And if your habits are weak, your future will be too. So the question is not, do you want a better life? Everyone wants that. The real question is, are you willing to become the person who can handle a better life? Because discipline won't just change your life, it will save it.